Computer. And we're live.
We look at that.
Hello.
Hello.
We have Mr. Rowbottom with us.
Little bit late. Sorry.
Standard.
No, you don't have to say that, because if people look at the clock behind me, I haven't moved it forward an hour yet, so it still thinks it's only about 7:30.
Oh, that's all right then. See, saved by the out-of-date clock. Sorted.
Can you make sure you're a bit quicker in the car than on the track and then on the road?
I'll try. We've had a good day today, so we'll try and build on that. So
one thing I did want to ask, first of all, I saw a picture a little bit earlier on. I don't know who it was from, but it was showing doing 95 mile an hour, but the revs were just under 2,000. What sort of car is that?
It's a diesel Range Rover. But I obviously wasn't doing 95 miles an hour on a public UK road. You understand?
No, of course not. That's why I just thought I'd throw this in. I'm like,
if it's anything like my Land Rover has got a 9-speed box in it, then you probably would be able to do 95 in 2,000 revs.
It's actually, so I'm carless at the moment. I'm waiting on a car to come, so I borrowed it off my very, 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 very good, fantastic sponsors, Cataclade, and it's one of their pool cars. And I've got to say, I've always resisted or tried to resist Range Rovers, but they are very good. They are very good.
You want to get my Land Rover Defender? I got a brand new Land Rover Defender set out there. That's awesome.
Are they good?
It's awesome. Absolutely brilliant.
Is it the 6-cylinder diesel or a petrol?
It's the diesel. It's the D200 automatic.
Oh, okay. And is it all right?
It's brilliant, man. I've had it, 4 weeks now? It's absolutely brilliant.
3-door or 5?
Oh, it's got to be the 110. It's got to be the 5-door.
I don't know about that. You see, my perfect one would be camo green, white steel wheels, 90, short wheelbase, which would be fun for about a day.
And then you're going to realise you've got to actually use the back seats.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, no, that wouldn't go down too well with the wife. So, not such a good one. So, anyway, good.
Right. Okay. Well, let's get started. I'm just going to ask people in the order that they're on my screen. They might be different on yours, but let's get it started.
I actually don't have an order on my screen, Lee, so I'm just sort of winging this. I'm kind of seeing what. If I'm honest, I'm not very good with Zoom. Sorry.
And your point is, I'm like in that.
I've just nicked. All right. Don't start again.
Right, Shazza, fire away.
Right,
Hello.
I've got some questions for your Robo.
Oh,
Let me
God.
get my sheet.
My God.
This may take a while.
Just joking. Right, I've got a question, right?
Go on then.
So, now you're with Team Dynamics.
Yeah.
Do you feel any added pressure on being with a different team alongside a previous champion, or are you just going to take it in your stride?
I think it's a good question, and I think there is added pressure because, let's not beat around the bush. There are pretty much every driver on the grid would love to be in that seat or have an opportunity to drive that car. So I don't think there's an added pressure. I think there's added responsibility because I'm very, very, very fortunate, and not everybody in the championship who would like to drive a Team Dynamics Honda is going to get to drive one. So it's more, I've got to make the most of the opportunity, Yeah. So I guess there is more pressure. The excuse book certainly got a lot smaller because
Sure.
100%. The car is without swearing, it is very, very effing good, So and the team are fantastic. The engine's great, Gordon's really, really, really great. And then, I've got Matt sat on my shoulder, as it were. And, I've just got an overload of information at the moment, So I think there is a bit of pressure, but I feel more responsible, if that makes sense, because I've got to make good of the opportunity,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what do you think your chances are for the Jack Sears then?
I'd be very disappointed in myself if we don't win the Jack Sears.
Or you going for the drivers?
I don't. Look, I think the problem with the Drivers' Championship is, first of all, BTCC. It has this wonderful way of going right down to the wire, and you don't really know where everybody is until we get to qualifying at Thruxton, and probably even then you're not going to know because you know, the guys that are really, 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 really good at this championship know how to work it. You know, they know how to work the weight. They know where they want to finish in at this event, because they know at that event the car's not so good a weight, so they want the weight off. You know, there's a lot to learn. I've got all the right information around me, but you know, I don't want to go into it saying, "Oh, I want to contend for the championship this year." Of course, I do. I think every racing driver that isn't deep down thinking they can be the champion of whatever they're in is sort of kidding themselves a bit. But I think at the moment, let's just see where we are. Let's learn and take in as much as I can. I've got 2-3-time British touring car champions, like, you know, I've got Gordon here and Matt Neal here, and you know, I've just got to make good of that opportunity and all the information I have around me, really. So definitely, I think if we don't win the Jacks Here's, I need a massive slap. Massive.
Got a few randoms for you now.
It's fine.
Scone or scone?
It's a scone.
Yay!
No.
Scone.
I think
It's gone.
well,
Breakfast,
I think
dinner, tea,
yeah,
or breakfast, lunch, dinner.
breakfast, dinner, tea.
Yeah.
Wrong.
No,
Fact.
he's right on that one. Milk, chocolate, or dark chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Oh, all right then. Brown sauce or red sauce on a bacon butty?
Red.
Yes. Why fronts or boxes? No, I'm not going to answer.
I have to go with boxes.
Oh, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good to see you back.
Thank
Really
you.
pleased for you to
Thank
get
you
back
very
on the grid, and hope to see you soon, mate. And I'll hand over to somebody else.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. It'd be good.
Thank you.
It won't be long until you're back, will it? So it'll be Brands Hatch, hopefully, as long as everything stays as it is and people don't go crazy. So
Yeah.
let's keep our fingers crossed. You know.
Oh, Sharon Lynch.
Hello.
Hi, Dan. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. If you could drive a historic vehicle for a historic race, what would you choose to drive?
I fell in love with motorsport through Formula One. I think like everybody did when I was karting. So I'd like to drive an early 90s Formula One car, preferably a V12 Ferrari. That would be tremendous. I think they're historics now, right? Early 90s F1.
Yeah.
That's a historic race car. So yeah, that for me would be. I think Ash Sutton got to drive a Benetton at Goodwood, and I was very, very, very jealous. I almost cried into my own cereal bowl, to be honest. I was a bit jealous. So that's my ultimate, for sure.
What road car are you going to get soon? You said you haven't got a car at the moment.
Well, so I've been coerced into this. This isn't actually my fault, right? So there's a bit of a story here. So Ross, who owns Cataclean's a massive car guy. He's got some really nice kit. And he's a little bit like me. He's a little bit eccentric. So he likes a variety of cars. It's not all supercars. So when the new Toyota Yaris GR got announced, he was like, I want one of those 4-wheel drive hot hatch. That looks pretty good. So we managed to get him an order, and he ordered black. But Ross is a bit of an indecisive chappy. So just after the order was placed, maybe a month later, he said, I want a white one. So we rang Toyota, and they were like, well, if you cancel your order, you're going to lose the car. And we don't recommend doing that because they're really hard to come by. But the deal, you know what dealers like. But as luck would have it, we've got a white one here. And I was like, well, we'll have it. And he was like, well, you can't have two cars in the same name. I went, well, put the one in my name. And then when the cars get delivered, he can choose which one he wants. And if I like it, I might keep it because I need a car. Anyway, roll on 2 more months. The dealer rings and goes, oh, guess what? We've got 2 white cars available now for June delivery. So I've kind of ended up with 3 Yaris's on order. that I never really planned to have any. And yeah, so I get but obviously it's not an ideal family car, so it hasn't gone down massively well. When I told Mrs. Rowbottom, she wasn't really convinced that the baby girl needs to be thrown around in the back of a little hot hatch rally car. So we'll see. It's so but I've not had anything sort of hot, if you like, for a long time now. So I'm quite looking forward to it. So it's not the most exciting thing. If you're expecting a Porsche or a Ferrari, it ain't coming. It's just a Toyota. So there you go.
It sounds fine, but with a dog and a baby, I'm not sure you're going to fit them all in.
Well, she's taken the Discovery, so it's her problem now. It's kind of, yeah, that's where I'm at. That's the angle I'm going for. So we'll see. We'll see.
And lastly, I was just going to say, if you're a dad, if your daughter shows an interest in motor racing, will you be happy to support that? Or
100%. I mean, if I'm really honest with you, I've still got my fingers in many pies karting because we were very lucky. We had a very successful karting career. So I've already got some Bambino engines all lined up that have already won a couple of British championships. So they're lined up, and there will be a Bambino kart for a third birthday just to entice her a little bit. Just to, you know, okay. We'll see. If she wants to do it, great. But I'm not going to force it on her because it wasn't forced on me. Well, no, I don't. It's not so much that. It was never forced on me. I always wanted to do it, but I always remember when we were karting, you could see there were kids there that were absolutely wanted to be anywhere but a go-kart track. But the mum or the dad, they wanted them to do it. And it's not, you know, if she wants me to do it, you know, if we start off and I have to coerce her into it a little bit, great. And then if she's not pulling on my arm saying, can we go? We won't, you know, we won't go. I've also not got the capacity that my parents had in terms of giving up on stuff. You know, like my parents gave up everything so we could go karting, and I don't think I could do it because I'm too selfish. Because you have to be a little bit selfish to go, you know, to do this. You have to give up a lot of things, but there's no way I could stop doing what my mum and dad stopped doing for me. I just couldn't do it. So unless we can afford to do it and she really, really wants to do it, then we'll see. But if she wants to do it, we'll always find the money. We don't need to live in a house. We can always live in a caravan, can't we? So we'll see.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we'll find it somehow. Again,
I had a
haven't run it.
trampoline situation, so I know about expenses and things. And we used to live in a smaller house than we should have done because we had a pony.
Yeah, so some of my family are into horses, and actually, I'd much rather go motor racing than horses. So let's see what happens.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Eh?
Well, I can't wait to see how you go at Thruxton either, Dan. I'm looking forward to it. I wish we could be there.
I can't. Well, you have to keep an eye on the telly, obviously, and then, you know.
It's just frustrating. I'm only 20 minutes away. It's just annoying that I'll be sat here and it's 20 minutes up the road, you know?
I know. The problem the problem with the situation in the world is we don't, you know, we're all in this sort of no man's land, really. And I think the problem is if we rush it and we get it wrong, we're all knackered. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's sort of, just got to play it by ear a little bit.
Hold on, Brands. Anyway, hopefully Brands, I should be there.
Fingers crossed. All right. I'll see you soon. You take care. See you later.
Okay, next up then, because I can see her name badge, so I know who she is. It'll be Fiona.
Hello.
Hello.
You all right?
Sorry, I was miles away.
All right.
I was actually not ill then.
Yeah, so was Robo when he was supposed to have been here.
Listen.
Okay, I'm going to have to make one up then, because I've not thought of anything. I'm sorry, I've got 25.
It's fine. Don't be silly.
We're having a tour of Sharon's house at the moment.
Sorry, I was getting
I have something to see when you finished as well. Got a name for you in Flash.
Excuse me, my tongue is telling me something. I don't know. I'll let somebody else go first while I think of something.
Okay, Ollie, take it.
All right.
Has DanCam shared any information with you yet? Because obviously you missed out last season. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Dan, he's been, in the off season, done fairly early, I would say. So we were chatting a lot. He's given me a fair bit of information. You know, I'm fortunate enough to have seen quite a lot of the onboard footage from last year and years previous. And, you know, Dan's been really, really supportive. And, you know, what happened there was, unfortunately, this sport is cruel, right? It's all about, you have to have, you can't just be a good driver. You know, there's no doubt DanCam is one of the best, for sure, fact, you know, especially in the current generation. But, you know, circumstance and finances, you know, changes at the team. It just meant that it wasn't to be, really. And I was really looking forward to working with Dan because, you know, we're a similar age. we raced go-karts together. We sort of drifted apart after karting and didn't really stay in contact because, you know, you don't. And I walked away from the sport, really. So I had no reason to keep in touch with anyone, to be honest. And then it would have been quite nice, I think, to work together. But unfortunately, it hasn't happened. But yeah, Dan's been really, you know, the bits and pieces I've asked him for, he's been nothing but supportive, which is great. So. Yeah.
So has Gordon shared much with you then, obviously, from his knowledge from the older, the FK2s, wasn't it? There's much crossover between the two, or?
Not really. The car's very different. The new car is quite a lot different. Flash did a bit of testing last year, though, in this car. Because if you remember, Matt busted himself up quite bad. So Flash stepped in for Matt to do last year's winter testing for a few. So he's had a little bit of running in the car. But no, I mean, Flash is great. You know, we were at Brands today and there was a few things I was doing that weren't quite right. And he just said, right, you've got to do this, do it like this, do it like this. And, you know, all of a sudden the time came. So he's been really, really great. It's a really, at the moment, the harmony is great. You know, I'm not sure. For me, I've kind of got a percentage in my head that I want to be within of Flash for now, right? That's my immediate target. So once I hit that, which to be fair today, I think we and Silverstone to some extent pre-engine issues, we're in that window now. So what I need to do is reduce that window. Does that make sense? So yeah. when we reduce the window to maybe nil, I don't know. You know, I've not worked with Flash before. I don't know at what point attitudes change, but for sure they do. You know, this is the first person you should want to beat is your teammate. You know, and probably at the moment for Flash, I'm not too much of a threat. I don't think, because I'm still in that learning phase, and I think he knows that. But I'd like to think at some point this year I can have him thinking, you know, Robo's here. You know, he's nipping at my heels. So the sooner we can make that happen, the better. But you know, it's very, very important for me that, you know, I take everything I can from the opportunity. So I'm quite happy, if I'm honest. I said this to someone else. I'm quite happy to sit as an undisputed number 2 for now and just sit back and go, right, you know, this is what I have. Let's take it all in and see what I can do with it. And, you know, what happens, doesn't it? Ultimately, at the end of the day, I can't control what's going to happen tomorrow. All I can control is what's happening now. And, you know, I've got a fantastic set of information around me, so I need to make the most of it. In a nutshell.
When you do come to overtaking, don't take him at Tower or Old Hall. He might be in.
Well, this conversation has already happened, actually. So I've been Matt said to me, don't get near him at Oldham Park, for Christ's sake, in the last corner. So it's the conversation's already happened. But no, you know, Flash is. I look at the data and you go, you know, he's good. He's very, very good. So it's quite a privilege, to be honest, to be able to sit next to him. So it's good. It's good.
Which is your I've got a couple. Don't go yet, Nick. Which is your favourite track on the circuit?
Thruxton. I like Thruxton and GP and Brands GP. They're just both fairly high speed. Quite like that. You know, traditionally I'd say Brands Indy's been a weak circuit of mine, but you know, today we had a really, really good test, and it's the first time I've ever left Brands feeling really positive. You know, we've always had issues. You know, I've had issues at different parts of the circuit. I get to clearways, I can't figure it out. I can't get my head around it. Blah 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 blah. So, whereas today, it all same. You know, I think a lot of it's down to the car. You know, I asked the car to do something, and now it's there. It's, you know, the car's almost in front of me. Like, this is what you wanted. Here it is, type of thing. You know, so yeah. But Thruxton, I think, would be good. I think we know the car's good at Thruxton, so I can go there in absolute utmost confidence that the package is going to be good. Obviously, I've not run at Thruxton since August 19, so maybe I'll be a bit rusty in session 1, but hopefully by the end of FP2 we'll be somewhere near. Would be the plan. So.
Awesome. The Mercs, the Honda's a lot more of a step up from the Merc, I suppose, well, isn't it?
I think, yeah, and I think, you know, it's really, really difficult because the guys, you know, they work really, really hard with the Mercedes, and before we pulled out the championship, you know, the winter test program we had with Sicily in 20 with the new engineering team was, I'd say, it was a step forward. But you know, especially this year, the game's gone up again. You know, there's more new cars than there's ever been. People have seemingly done quite a lot of testing this winter, and I think you know, you can't go forward standing still. You know, you have to continue to progress. And I mean, the FK8, she's been around for 2 or 3 seasons now, but I don't. The guys have got a firm handle on it, you know, so the platform is really, really good and they understand it, which is really important. And I think, you know, when I was running with the Mercedes, I think the biggest problem I had was confidence, because I didn't know if it was me, I didn't know if it was the car, I didn't know if it was a tyre, I didn't know if it was the engine. I just didn't know, you know, and sometimes we'd be able to match Adam, other times we were, I don't know, 5 tenths off him. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know. So, and everybody worked really, really hard, but you know, it wasn't really the year that I wanted. You know, I didn't really want a debut year where we scored 5 points. I mean, it's, you know, I think literally since I started racing in '97 as an 8-year-old kid in karts, that was the worst season on paper I ever had. So, rights and wrongs this year. You know, that's the whole thing. When we decided not to continue last year, it was difficult, but I knew that if I came back, I wanted to come back, and I wanted to basically 2 things really. You know, we've had to do it the hard way. You know, we've had to do it without any sort of family money. You know, we've had to work really, really hard, and I wanted people, because, you know, I saw a lot of talented people that finished at karts because they just couldn't see the wood for the trees. You know, they couldn't see how they could ever have a career because the numbers are too big. And for a very long time, I was like that. And, you know, in the end, it came down to being very, very, very lucky. But, you know, I worked really, really, really hard for a very long time. And so that's why I wanted to come back and make it happen. And secondly, I knew that if I wanted to come back into BTCC, I had to be competitive. I didn't want to make the numbers up. And I just didn't want to be known as an also-ran. So, you know, that was a decision. And this is where we've ended up. And I don't, you know, I couldn't have wished for a better synergy, really, you know, especially for the guys at Cataclysm, because they've worked as equally hard as me at this. You know, they've took it in their stride for the last 4 years, and that loyalty needs repaying, you know. So being able to work together with Team Dynamics and Halfords, which is obviously Cataclysm's largest high street retailer, the synergy is really, really nice. So I'm hoping for a good turn. So, yeah.
Did you look at any other championships if BTC wasn't an option?
We went and had a tentative exploration exercise of the NASCAR, Euro NASCAR last year. Again, Cataclysm's distributor in America is Holly Carburetors, really, really old American brand. They've been in NASCAR since NASCAR was invented back in the moonshine days. You know, they're big NASCAR people. And when they found out we put out a BTCC, they were like, "Oh, we'd like you to do some racing. We'd like the activation for Cataclysm sales here in the US. Would you consider doing this European NASCAR?" So we went. We had a look. We were fast, but we had a bit unfortunate with the car. You know, we qualified well. I think we qualified P4. I made a bit of a mistake on my fastest lap. Race 1, the gearbox broke, so we had a DNF. And then race 2, we got to the grid and the power steering failed. And it was like, well, this is a bit crap, really. Because it's a long way to go, Italy, to not finish 2 races. You know what I mean? It's not like a 5-minute drive to Silverstone or whatever, 20-minute drive, whatever. So that was a bit disappointing. I enjoyed it. Cars are great, Larry as hell. Rear-wheel drive, so I was back in my what I love. You know, I love the rear-wheel drive platform. But unfortunately, with there were 3 problems really. COVID was prohibitive. We couldn't get to Belgium for round 2 because of the regulation at the time. Belgium was on the red list. I couldn't go, so that was a problem. Secondly, my wife was 7 months pregnant, so I was like, well, I don't really want to be hot shoeing it around Europe when the numbers were going back up during their second or wave 1.5 or whatever they called it. And then thirdly, it was like, well, if we can't win the championship, what's the point in doing it? And we couldn't win it because we had 2 DNFs at the first round, so we just didn't bother. So, but it was good. It was good fun, and I'd consider doing more of it. And I think had BTCC not came off, we might have had a proper go at it. But I haven't really looked elsewhere, if I'm honest. The commercials of BTCC are too strong. If you want a really boring answer. So that's where it is, you know.
Right,
So,
well, let's move on before Ollie takes the whole show up
and falls asleep. Yeah.
Katie.
Hi.
Hello, you're right.
Yeah, good. Now you're back.
Good.
I don't need to spam your Instagram inbox anymore.
It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
Everyone loves a
dropped
bit
out.
of spam.
First one. So,
Yes.
I mean, everyone's having their views on the whole liveries for this year, but what's your take on the fact that the whole grid is pretty much black?
Well, you know, I was going to say something then, but I'm not sure it's politically correct. Look, do you know what? For me, we had our livery quite early on, right? So I'm just going to put that out there. Our car's the best black-looking car that there is. Just saying. Now that that's out of the way, I quite like it. If I'm honest, I quite like my two favourite cars are black cars and white cars. So it ain't really going to help. This scenario is not really going to play out well for me. But I think, you know, I think our car works really, really well. You know, the two brands have got fairly fluorescent brand colours. So
Yes.
off the black and off the white, they both stand out really well. I think black suits the FK8. The body shape works really, really well against black. So I think that works. The BMWs look pretty good in black, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They do look pretty good. And the motor-based cars, they look really good. The Weira Tools cars look really... I can't help it. I like black cars. What do you want me to say? So, and at the end of the day, right, I'm in the car. It ain't my problem if you can't see who's who. I'm just putting it out there as well. So I know
The commentary team are going to love it this year.
Exactly.
It might be a Honda. It could be a BMW. Don't know.
We don't know who it is.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, that's a really crap answer for you, but I quite like the black car situation. So there you go.
That's fair enough. One more. If you could
Yes.
be in any team with any other two drivers, what would it be and who would they be?
In any championship?
Anywhere.
Or
I mean, you could do just BTCC or you could go elsewhere, but yeah.
I mean, to be honest
Or
with
do
you, well, for BTCC, I mean, I've kind of got to say this, but genuinely, and this is I'm going to go on a little tangent here, another little story. So in 2018, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to someone we were doing Clio Cup, and they said, you know, what you're doing next year? So we go BTCC, blah 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 blah. Long conversation, and like, well, what's the end game? I said, I want to be with Team Dynamics, and they were like, you're mad, you got no chance. I was like, I bet you. And I wish I'd actually put money on it now because I'd have won, obviously. I was like, I bet you I end up Team Dynamics. So it kind of has always been on the cut. And there's a few reasons for that. Firstly, Matt Neal, from the minute we sort of started looking into BTCC, Matt's offered nothing but fantastic advice all the way through. Even before we were with Dynamics, you know, when we finished Clio, I went to see him and he gave me a great insight to what you needed to know. So I really felt that he didn't need to do that. I was a guy that he'd never met, you know, he didn't really know anything about me. And he was always really, really good. So that's the first reason. And the second reason is Team Dynamics is like 8 miles from my house. So I can now roll out of bed at like 8:45 if I want to get there for 9. Literally stick my trousers on and a coat and I'm there in 15 minutes. So it's perfect. So demographically, it's and you know, they've got so much history, so much positivity, and it would be really, really cool, I guess, to do a season with Flash and Matt and me. That would be very, very, very cool. You know, I've kind of got that anyway. It's just Matt's not driving the car this year, so you know. But no, nearly for sure. And had things been a little bit different, I suspect that he may well have done. You know. But we are where we don't. Let's not start on that, Lee. Don't get off on a tangent. But in any championship in the world, I'd love to go and do V8 supercar. I don't know who I'd do it with.
Scotty. Scotty.
Well, I tell you what would be good actually. Ash Sutton's got a bit of a tendency for rear wheel drive V8 supercars. So myself and Ash and another in Australia would be pretty epic, I think. I definitely get bitten by a spider and die because I'm accident prone. That's a fact. So,
Which way are you from the factory then? Because I'm only about 10 miles from the factory.
are you?
Yeah.
I'm just outside Bewdley.
I'm the opposite direction. I'm Gloucestershire.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, you see, we're in the posh end of the world. You're a bit rough down there, aren't you, to be honest.
Hey, I'm always flooded.
No, it's nice. It's a nice part of the world, Gloucester or Gloucestershire. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Okay,
We're Worcestershire.
before we start turf wars.
Well, go on.
Don't start, Lee. We know where you're from.
Yeah, you see, he's a proper bloke. He's from Cornwall, so I like Cornwall. I got a bit of a soft spot for Cornwall. We like going down there with the dog and stuff. So
Yeah, we don't like you lot coming down, but anyway, that's another story.
Listen. Let me tell you, when I get down there, the amount I contribute to the ecosystem on Cornish pasties, I add significant value.
Proper pasties, not like those Tingram things.
No, not like that crap. No, for sure.
So I do the same, but with ice cream, Cornish ice cream.
Amazing. Sorry.
Right.
We divulged.
Katie, any more?
No, good.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm ever so sorry. Thank you. Is that okay? I'm sorry I answered your question really bad on the car thing. I feel a bit bad.
That's all right. I'll take some free merch and some signatures. You're
That's
all
right.
good.
I do owe you all a bobble hat or something because I was late. So remind me.
Yep.
Pester me. Actually, Lee.
Facebook you all the time.
Actually, no. Seriously, Lee. If you take everyone's details off here, we'll sort some stuff out.
Yeah.
You're a legend.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, I could actually do that right now. There you go.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, okay. All right. Let me just get my pen, shall I? Jesus. Anyway, sorry.
Fiona, have you thought of a question yet?
Plenty, but I don't think that I should. No, I can't ask one.
What you trying to say? They're not appropriate? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Possibly.
It's all right. Good girl.
I tend to incriminate myself with everything I say. Just ask Lee. So, I was going to ask something about the black cars, but I'm not going to bother now.
Sorry, you broke up then. You said black and white cars, didn't you? That's all I heard.
White cars now. No.
Okay.
Mazda or MX-5 or MGB. There you go.
Oh, well, Christ, that's hard.
No, it's
I
not.
quite like. Well,
Be
it is.
very careful how you answer this.
Well, let me tell you this. Again, I've got another story. I like old British crap, right? Because I've got a Morris Minor and an Austin A40. So anything that was built that was pretty shit and made by the Brits, I love it. So I'd say MGB falls into the crap British category in a good way. So I do like them, but I like MX-5s as well. So
you can drive mine one day around the track, see what you can.
Which one is it?
About 3.
Oh, okay. That's a proper MX-5. Oh, okay. I like
I've got a good story to tell about an MX-5 and a salesman, but I won't tell you on this because I might get into trouble.
Fair enough.
Go on.
Fantastic. No, I'd go with it. If I had to drive it, I'd use the MX-5, of course. But the MGB is quite pretty, in a cute, ugly kind of way. You know what I mean? So I'm terrible. Honestly, if it's British and old and doesn't start and it's crap, I love it. Can't help it.
Sounds like me.
There you go. Jesus. Yeah. So there we go.
Kaz, take it away.
Good evening, Daniel.
Hello, you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you.
I do apologise for the latency, Harry. It's dark outside now. I feel really bad. Sorry.
No, don't worry. It's only a load of rubbish on the telly anyway.
I know, and then you got to watch more rubbish watching me. How bad's that?
Oh, no. The only difference is I'm fortunate being a marshal and I am actually at Ruxton, so I feel sorry for the people that can't be there. So I shall be in assembly in Park Ferme. So I expect I'll bump into you.
I'll give you a little wave.
Right.
I would give you a cuddle, but we'll get in trouble with the COVID police. So
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. I've always wanted to ask a driver, how do they what is actually the ballast that they put in the cars?
I wanted to know that.
Right. So it ranges from 75. What do you mean? What it's made out of?
Yeah.
It's lead.
All right.
Just
so
lead.
how do they put that in the car? Is it like in the back of the car or all around the car? Or?
Well, you're gonna cause a massive row here because the ballast goes in different places in different cars depending on which end it's powered from. I'm not gonna. I can't say too much because I don't want to get myself into trouble. So certain cars that probably don't need any more weight on the back of them get the weight on the back of them, which helps traction. You see, so do you see where I'm going with this?
You may be rear wheel drive here.
No, it's not. Don't be stupid. Listen, stop being an idiot. Anyway,
he's getting roasted. Please carry on.
So typically, so I'm making it worse than it is. I don't really know where it is in rear wheel drive cars, but it's definitely further back than we have it in front wheel drive cars. So in the Honda, it's basically where the passenger would sit, and it sits in its own little. They call it a ballast box. Sits in its own little, and it's strapped to the floor. Because obviously, if it comes off, 75 kilo is, well, it's a person, isn't it? So if that comes around and moves in the car, it would kill you, I guess, as a driver, cause some serious damage anyway. So it's all strapped down and it's in like its own protective box in the passenger footwell where the seat would be.
Surely if it's 75 kg, it's got to be 2 Jake Hills, hasn't it?
Hey? Oh, yeah, probably. Or 2 Gordon Sheddons. That bloke is thin. My God. I thought I was doing really, really well. I was really proud of myself. I even gave myself a gold star after Christmas. I'd lost a bit of weight. I was like, you've done well here. Good lad. I met that bloke for the first time and literally went and joined Slimming World immediately because he is tiny. I was like, I can't compete with that. I've got to do something very serious. So anyway, we'll see.
Right.
I'm big bone.
What would be your dream circuit to drive at anywhere?
Oh my God. Bathurst, Australia.
Cool.
Definitely.
Right, couple of quick questions. Right.
Yep.
Do you like homemade jam?
I love homemade jam.
You will.
If you ask Matt and just say homemade jam, he'll know who you're talking about. I won't have any for the first one of Thruxton because it's too early.
Yeah.
But I promise you a jar of homemade jam at the
Oh
second.
my God. See, what you've done there is I'm worried about my weight. I've already got a weight problem, right? And now you've gone and taught me into something that's full of sugar. I love homemade jam. It's amazing. So that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm like Matt Neal's not that chubby, is he?
No.
And he loves Kaz's jam.
Perfect.
Yeah, he calls it Lucky Jam.
Oh, okay. Well, I need a vat of it. Don't bring me a jar. Bring me all of everything. Bring the whole.
You would have spooned everything.
Right. Sprouts or not sprouts?
What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Brussels sprouts or not Brussels sprouts?
Yeah, I'll eat Brussels sprouts. I'm all right with that. I can do that.
Right. Oh, that's good. Right. And have you got any tattoos?
No.
No. Okay then. Right,
no,
okay,
I'm a bit boring like that. Like that. I might get one if we do something significant in the championship. I might get one to celebrate. You know, like crazy night while drunk somewhere celebrating. Maybe, but I'm a bit too straight laced for tattoos, if I'm honest.
Ah, well, I've got about 5, so.
Oh, fair play. I'm a bit too much of a pussy. Is the truth of the matter. That's the reality. So there you go.
No, it's all right. Once they're done, they do the outline first, and then you get used to the pain after that. So
yeah, you see.
Oh, it tickles.
Oh yeah, not for me. Not for me. Yeah.
Okay,
and then
I'll pass it over to someone else, and I'll see you at Thruxton.
See you there. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
See you later.
Swiftly moving on to Jesus.
Hi, mate.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah, you good?
I like your little image in the background. You've not made me look any slimmer, though, have you, mate? To be honest. Hey. Fucking hell. Wow. Jesus. Anyway, how are you?
I have 1 or 2 questions. So if you're still at Sutterley last year, would have you had the contract go into the BMWs, or do you think you'd have still looked elsewhere for this year?
No, I think no, I think for all the reasons that we've discussed that are a little bit boring because they're all commercial. The perfect scenario has actually happened. I don't quite know how we managed to pull it off, if I'm honest with you. I still like, every time I look at the car, I'm like, wow, I don't know how we did this. But anyway, the synergy is awesome, you know, and because of the way my motorsport's funded, it has to work commercially. You know, there's no buffer. There's no like, oh, don't worry, mate. If it don't work, there's always next year. You know, we have to deliver, right? And we were very, very fortunate in 2017, the first year that Caterpillar and I worked together. There wasn't really a business strategy behind that. It was a bit, this is a really long story, so I'm going to give you a very, very highlighted version in a very condensed short space of time. If you remember, I came back in 2016 and did half a season at Clio with another sponsor. That said sponsor had actually ripped off Caterpillar unbeknown to me, right? So, cut a long story short, they didn't pay any bills with me, and it all came to a head at Croft because my wife and I got married on the Thursday. Very conveniently, I had to leave the wedding early to go testing at Croft, so I've still not lived that down, to be honest. So, just so you can see now why the Yaris is the icing on the cake. She's gone tits, to be fair. Anyway, so they ripped me off effectively. Didn't pay any bills. Cataclean, or the guy from Cataclean who owned it, had already been in touch with me at the start of the year to say, oh, you don't want to deal with these people. They've ripped my product off and I guarantee they won't pay the bills. But because I'd had such a long gap in my racing career and I saw a glimmer of hope, I was like, well, look, I'm going to do it anyway. Cut long story short, got ripped off. After the wedding, no money, absolutely on the bones of my ass. And I was like, I'm not having this. So I had to pull the plug. Maybe a month and a half after, middle of August, I remember really waking up really, really angry. I don't know why, I was just angry. Really, really, you know, when you're really, really, really pissed off. I was just really one of those days. And I remember going into the office and I opened the drawer, and the typical garage drawer, the front fell off it. So I'm even more angry now because everything's fell out the drawer. But call it fate, call it what you will. This business card sort of floats down from the drawer, and it was Ross Bajan, MD of Cataclean. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to ring him. Sod it, I'm going to ring him. So I rang him and I was like, I don't know if you remember me. He goes, yeah, I wonder why you weren't racing. You've been ripped off, haven't you? I was like, yeah, I've been ripped off. Big style. And he was like, right, okay. He said, what do you want me to do about it? I went, well, I'd like to chat to you. He said, and this is exactly what he said. And I thought this was some sort of weird, like, Top Gear style challenge. And he was like, you've got 2 hours, get to Liverpool. And I'm in Kidderminster, right? And I'm pretty quick at driving, but that is no mean feat, let me tell you that. It's pretty difficult in rush hour traffic on like a Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon. So I got there in time. Cataclean's old offices used to be on the Docklands in Liverpool, right? I've never met these people before. And I'm in Liverpool, I'm driving around the Docklands. No offense to any Liverpoolians, but it used to be a little bit rough, just saying. Anyway, and I'm like, I'm going to die. Something's going to happen here. I'm going to get murdered. I'm going to get stabbed, or there's something going on. Anyway, I drove in, we had a chat, and it turned out that they had a legal fight against said company. And he was like, look, if you help us, you know, provide some evidence, join the legal fight, you know, that would really help us out. And he said, what do you want in return? And I said, look, I've got the bug back. You know, I've had 10 years away from the sport nearly. I've got the bug. I've got to carry on. I'm 27 years old now. This is it. I've got to push now, otherwise it's never going to happen. And he said, well, we'll sponsor you next year. And that's literally how it happened. So it was all a bit rush. And then the reason I told you that story was they did it a little bit out of spite initially to get one over on this other company, right? And then during the 2017, they actually contacted me and they said, you know what? We're actually seeing a spike in the sales of Cataclean. And interestingly, every week after a race weekend, the numbers in Halfords go up. So there has to be they weren't doing any of the marketing. They were doing nothing. There was no magazine articles, no nothing. So they're like, this must actually be working. So we continued in 18 and 19, and we were very, very lucky that every year we worked together, we've been able to increase sales. So, but we have to continue to do that. Do you understand? So it's kind of, nothing's a given. We've been really, really fortunate, and I'm really lucky because the product's actually really good. You know, it's not like we're trying to peddle a comb that no one wants, or, you know what I mean? Something really crap and naff. We're actually peddling a product that works really, really well. And in the current climate, with the way this EV agenda, I'm going to call it, is being forced upon everybody, it's never been a better time for Cataclean, because during this transition, everyone's going to need all the help they can in riding the storm, you know? So it's a fantastic product. They deserve nothing but success with it. And hopefully we can continue to work together and deliver that. That's it, really. So,
you know, I use
basically,
it anyway.
what I'm saying is, if none of you don't rush out tomorrow and buy it from Alfred's, I ain't talking to none of you again, is what I'm trying to say. But I'm not.
Don't need it.
Because I'm not a direct person, I wouldn't say that. Do you understand? But it's just a subliminal little thing, you know? Anyway, so...
I don't drive, so...
Well, you could still buy it. You don't have to use it. You can put it on your shelf. I tell you what, you buy it, right? And I'll give you a few quid back for it. You just need the numbers to go up. No, I'm joking. But no, it's that's how it happened. So to answer your question, which is really long-winded, I wouldn't want to be in any other car at all with any other team. It's perfect. So yeah, that was about 10 answers in one. But there you go, mini life story at the same time. So
second question I have, then, do you have the similar setup to Flash, or do you have your own sort of setup when it comes to the car?
Well, during testing, we've been doing two different approach angles, really. I wanted seat time initially, because obviously I had last year out. I wanted to get back into it. So I was kind of doing the race runs, figuring out what the car did over a long distance, and Flash has been working out and out pace. And we've just been crossing the information over, really. So we ended up today very similar. He tried something in the morning that didn't quite work for him. But then in the afternoon, I developed a bit of a symptom, and I was like, oh, can I, what did you do? What was your result from that? And he was like, oh, well, it did this. I was like, well, that's what I want. So we're crossing information, if that makes sense. So he's trying things that work for him or don't work for him. And we've obviously, the team notes everything down, and we're not a million miles apart, I'd say. And when you look at the data, our brake traces are pretty similar, I would say. Very similar on the brake trace, which is nice because he's a very, very good braker. And probably my only negative is I'm a bit of a happy Harry with the throttle. I'm a little bit fast with it, so I've got to learn to peg it back a little bit. But apart from that, it's really good. So, and it's just so nice having someone that he knows what he's doing. This bloke, he's not an idiot. He knows how to win a championship. So if I can do what he is doing, that means that I can at least be up there. Not saying that just doing that wins a championship, because it doesn't. It's a whole host of things, but just doing the little bits, we just tie it all together. That's the plan. So
thank you, mate.
We'll see. That's it. That's it. It's fine. And that's it, really. You've all heard my life story. You've all gone to sleep. And that's it, really.
I've got a team name for you, Robo.
What's that then?
Team Flashdance.
That's quite good. I like that. That's actually quite good. I
do have these weird ideas now and then, But yeah,
that's quite good.
Team
I'm going to present that tomorrow. I'm at Dynamics tomorrow, so I'm going to go and present that as a thing. But I'm not dancing, so.
I can see you doing a bit of Kevin Bacon.
With you, you could be Team Flashdance, Matt.
Yeah, that'd be even better. Yeah. Or Shed Bottom. It's not quite as good. Shed Bow. No, it's not really
you could of course link Shedden and Legend and get Shed End.
That's quite good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
As long as it's Flash Bottom.
Flash, that works. I like that. I could have that. I like that. I'll have to break the gold back out.
Some t-shirts with Team Flashdance on.
That's quite good. I like that. It'd be nice to get everybody back and we can do all the stupid crap that we used to like to do. So
yeah.
Very much looking forward to it. It's not this. I mean, I was actually really lucky to miss last year, but everybody I speak to who was in it last year say it was just not the same. Just no atmosphere. It's you guys are what makes the championship for sure. So it will be fantastic to get you back. But just go gentle on me this year, because you were a little bit sometimes a bit aggressive. Because I'm just going to put it out there. So just.
You said to me last year to get rid of my Pertec jacket. Not last year, the year before.
I did.
Yeah.
Well,
you did. Remember? I've got the photograph.
Yeah.
I was trying to go down as my background, but it wouldn't work. And last year, what happened? Pertec pulled out.
Well, don't try and link that to me. That doesn't do me. I didn't jinx it. It ain't my fault.
You told me to get rid of it. Said you need to get rid of that Pertec jacket. Well, there you go. You've got your wish.
It's time for a new one, isn't it? That's all I'm saying. Available at all good retail Harlequin stores very soon. There you go. Anyway. There you go.
Right. I think we should think about wrapping it up then, folks.
Yeah, no stress.
Just let
No
Robo have a final word.
Well, it's just
final G up to all of us.
I think I've probably spoken enough for everybody, to be fair, because I've got to be honest, you all need to get better at telling me to shut up, because I do rattle on, just so you know that. But
my missus is exactly the same, and I never tell her to shut up. It's just an easier life.
Yeah, she does that. They I think, no offense, ladies, but you all do rattle on a little bit sometimes, you know what I mean? But
I don't know, I think you're worse than us though.
Yeah, no, that is a fact. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying.
You did keep us waiting a long time tonight, Dan.
Yeah, no, all right.
We're an hour late.
This ain't ganging up on Dan. I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway, no, it's been great to chat to you all, and I am sorry I'm late. All right, and it won't be late again. Look forward to seeing you all soon, I guess. So yeah.
Good luck this season.
Good luck.
No worries, guys.
Yeah, good luck.
Take care,
Good luck, mate.
See you soon.
Thanks
Take
for
care,
this
everyone.
one, Dan. All right.
No worries.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
I'll be posting the video up on Friday evening, by the way.
That's fine, mate.
So,
Anytime you want to.
So you
And
can
seriously,
you can all look back at your moments and think, "Oh my god."
Well,
Pretty much.
if it's horrific, don't post it. I'll pay you 20 quid. Anyway,
I'm worth more than that.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
on a good day, I'd pay you 25, maybe. You know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway, seriously,
All right,
though,
thanks, Dan.
make sure you keep a note of everyone's names and stuff, and get addresses for me, Lee, and we'll sort it out.
All right, no worries, mate.
No worries. See you
All right.
guys. You'll
Thank
take care.
you.
And
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Bye for now.